Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're here with Bobby Conte.
Woo! He was in the Bronx Tale and Company.
So, let's get on to the video.
Here we go. Broadway time.
How did you get into theater?
How did I get into theater? I sang a lot as a child around the house, very annoyingly to my mother's dissatisfaction. And so she put me in a choir when I was 2, thinking like structure would get me to shut up, but rather it only fueled the passion more. And the head of that choir was a voice teacher who sort of took me under her wing. And so I started taking voice lessons when I was 2, 3. And then I did my first child's theater production when I was around 8, I think. I played a flying monkey and a Lollipop Guild member in The Wizard of Oz. And I was hooked because it was just so fun, and I enjoyed making friends, and I enjoyed the playing pretend aspect of it, that I didn't have to be myself for a period of time. I got to escape into another character, into another world with another group of people, and yeah, I very much enjoyed that.
What is your favorite show mishap?
Favorite show mishap? I did a show on Broadway called A Bronx Tale, where the setting for it is in 1960s Bronx, and a younger version of my character, Calogero, is watching a fight happen in front of his stoop. 2 people are fighting over a parking spot, and they come out after the cars have crashed. One guy has a baseball bat and is pummeling this other guy with it. And this gangster named Sonny, who was played by Nick Kready, comes out with a gun and shoots the man with the bat. And then a whole lineup is created where I choose, even though I'm the witness to this shooting as a 9-year-old, I don't rat on the gangster who is sort of running this particular aspect and neighborhood of the Bronx, and hence a friendship is created between this mobster and this child. One day, this fight is happening with the guy with the bat is pummeling the other guy on stage, and Nick goes out to pull his gun and shoots, and it doesn't go off. So we have blanks. It wasn't a sound design. It wasn't like a sort of something that a sound person controls. It was an actual blank and a gun, and the blank didn't go off. We had someone backstage who has a backup gun in case that didn't work, and he went to shoot his, and that didn't work either. So Nick shot the gun twice, realized it didn't work, and put it in his back pocket and walked over to the man with the bat, who was just improvising, trying to fill time, and goes over and Vulcan nerve pinches him to the ground and kills him that way. And so, and the whole show is predicated on this act of gun violence. So when the policeman came out, instead of saying the line, "Kid, can you point out the guy who pulled the trigger?" he had to say, "Kid, can you point out the guy who broke his neck?" So the whole show changed in an instant. Another great example of Nick coming to the rescue. I don't know what I would have done. I would have, if I had a prop gun, I would have gone bang.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, boom, 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 like something like that.
Nope,
I don't know.
but that would have been awful. So
Yeah.
he, on the fly, made it work.
That is so awesome.
That's so funny.
Cool. Yeah. What is your favorite stage door memory?
Oh goodness, I stage doors so often as a child. One of them is I stage doored Gypsy with Patti LuPone when I was a teenager. I won't say my age because Patti is as young as a fresh daisy. But it was I went for my birthday, I remember, and I waited on the side of the barrier, and she came out in stage door, and I told her it was my birthday, and she gave me a big hug and said, "Are you an actor?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Keep with it." And then got in her car and drove away. And so I have a signature of her on a Gypsy poster. And now to work with her is very, very sweet.
That is so cool.
Have you told her the story?
Yes, I told her the story, and I told her how old I turned, and she said, "Never say that again."
Okay, so this is a 2-part question. What movie would you want to turn to a musical? And what musical would you want to turn to a movie?
I think. Do you guys know the movie Truman Show with Jim Carrey?
I think I've heard of it.
It does sound familiar.
It's with Ed Harris, who has created a reality television show where he has created an entire world, an entire city and civilization where a child has been born named Truman who exists within this television show but doesn't know he's on a show. Every person around him is an actor. His family, his wife, his best friend are all actors, but he doesn't know, and it's about him slowly realizing that he is not in reality and trying to break out of it, essentially. And so I always thought it would be a great idea. My buddy Rob McClure and I have this idea where, say he was trapped in a musical and he didn't realize he was in a musical, and slowly but surely he puts together, I need to break out of this reality, and finally breaks the fourth wall and sees an audience and maybe walks out of the theater and there's no bows. And it's one of Jim Carrey's, I think, best films he's ever done.
Wow.
What musical would I want to see turned into a movie? That's not. There was a screenplay version of Company that George Firth had written before he passed. And when we were developing this new version of the show, we had access to all the different iterations of Company. So we had the vignettes that the musical of Company were based off of, because originally he wrote basically 6 one-act plays that then were converged into what Company now is. And Stephen Sondheim wrote the music interluding between. But he had written a film adaptation, and he had written a myriad of number of plays. So maybe Company turned into a film. I don't know.
That would be cool.
That would be
yeah.
really cool.
And I could see it because it's all about New York.
Yeah.
And,
I feel like it would be a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. What is your dream role?
What is my dream role? Mm-hmm. I have many, because I'm a big old nerd, and so it depends on what age I would want to. Something that's been sort of in the immediate thought, especially during the pandemic, because I was in Montana for a vast majority of the pandemic, and luckily I got to be outside every day because there was no one around us, is this show called Floyd Collins. Do you guys know that show?
No.
I would love to. You don't know Floyd Collins? Floyd Collins is an Adam Gettle show that he wrote with Tina Landau, about a true story about a man who in Kentucky who gets trapped inside of a cave and ends up dying there. He gets trapped for a couple weeks, and how he is discovered for a period of time, but they can't get him out, and then he's uncovered again. But it's not only about his experience being trapped in this cave, but also the media frenzy that started to come about when the entire world learned about this man who was trapped inside a cave. And this is in the pretty early 1900s, so it was the first idea of a news flash mob and people manipulating the truth of what was actually happening and what would actually be popular for a wide stream American a population and audience to learn about this man. It's a very, very beautiful show, so I'd love to play that. But, I saw Beauty and the Beast was my first show I ever saw as a child, and I would love to play the Beast one day. And I would love to play Sweeney Todd one day. And there's an endless number of answers to that question.
What was it like recording and producing your album?
My solo album?
Yes.
It was wonderful. It's based off a solo cabaret that I do around the country. And the original idea was, once I knew Company was going to happen in March of 2020, I had about a month where I could really record it. So we did that in December of 2019, and it was thrilling. My music director, James Sampliner, came up with new arrangements that were for 10 pieces. And so we had like 6 days in a studio in Brooklyn, where first we laid down the jazz quartet for 2 days, and then they left. And then 4 strings came for a day, and then we had horns come for another day. And then after all that was layered, I came in and did vocals on top of that. It was so thrilling. It was so out of my element, because we would go, sometimes I'd record a song and you'd sing it the whole way through, but oftentimes you would record line by line. You would sing the one sentence and then stop, or be like, okay, you were off key you were flat on that word, get that word right, and they just plug in that word. So you'd listen to a song after we've mix engineered it, and it's a combination of 20 plus takes that are all creating one fluid story that hopefully you as a listener are seeing just as one single arc. But it's a combination of so many different, very meticulous elements coming together. And that was really thrilling to learn. And then the crazy part too is we had to engineer it during the pandemic, so we were all not in the same place. So it was just a lot of emailing back and forth and sending back different takes to and from each other. So I was just really proud that we were even able to do it and get it done. And I'm excited to be able to do it in person, hopefully in August, because we haven't been able to get together as a band since we recorded it back in December of 2019.
So are you guys gonna be like doing your album live at like a venue?
I turned 30 in August, and so I think we're gonna do it as a birthday celebration concert.
Nice. That's nice.
So yeah.
What was it like doing a Bronx Tale?
It was thrilling. It was I was 20. I was 23 when I got it. I was 24 throughout the vast majority of the run, and it was the greatest learning experience I could have asked for. You know, you're in a room with these 8 real extraordinary men, from Chaz Palminteri, whose life story it is, to Alan Menken, who wrote the musical and who wrote the lyrics, Jerry Zaks and Bob De Niro co-directing, Sergio Trujillo choreographing, Ron Melrose music directing, Tommy Mottola producing, and just it was a great lesson as a 23, 24-year-old to learn how all of these great paragons of the entertainment industry collaborated and worked with each other, and where you fit within that cog, and how ultimately the kind of collaborator you want to become. You learn how to maneuver around egos. You learn when you can put your hand up and plant your feet and pick your battles, and then when to adhere and be the good soldier. How to create a family environment, not only on stage but backstage. What it means to be a leader in a building of a show that's running 8 times a week for a year, and what it means to create that unit of people that you see every day, let alone the hard job of what you have to do on stage. It was learning through all of that. And at times it was incredibly euphoric. At many times it was very scary and depressing. But ultimately that group of people is, we all really consider ourselves family. And that was only fermented more with Nick passing during the pandemic. And, the show's become very meta in many ways. It was about a young person who was choosing between 2 father figures and taking the best of both scenarios, and then choosing, unapologetically making your own choices as you go out in the world and carving out your own path. I was between 2 directors every day. I had 2 great acting scene partners in Richard Blake and Nick every day. You know, Nick's character in the show passes away very suddenly before Calogero was ready to say goodbye to him. Nick passed away very suddenly before any of us were able to say goodbye to him. It's very bizarre, the sort of meta-ness of the show, as I can look back on it with some years and reflect. And ultimately, you're just very, very grateful for the experience, and try to take as many learning lessons from it as you can.
What was it like doing company, and what has been your favorite moment?
My favorite moment of company. There are so many. There are silly moments, like we were in tech one day, and I put this on my social media. Katrina would come in every day with these beautiful, very elaborate outfits. When one day she was wearing this sort of jumper onesie that was a combination of like 8 different colors. It was so bizarre and interesting. And the 3 boyfriends all looked at it and simultaneously went, "We're buying that jumpsuit, aren't we?" So we Google searched it, and we took a picture of her, and we found the jumpsuit online, and we each bought an outfit. And so the first day of tech, when we were revealed before Drive a Person Crazy, we all had on the jumpsuits just to get her to laugh, because tech is a very tedious process. You're standing around a lot for the lighting and for the sound to all meld and make sure you're not getting hit by sets, and it can easily be a very stressful process. And so we just wanted to make sure there was some levity and get her to laugh, because Katrina never leaves the stage. She very gracefully runs the marathon every day in that show. And so in those little moments, to get her to laugh was very fun. And then there's the profound moments when I got to meet Stephen Sondheim for the first time ever. And The first time I really had the balls to say hello to him was at our Sits probe, and I sang my song, Another 100 People, and saw his very sweet reaction, and so I went up to him and said a version of thank you that probably every person says to him. And he said, "What was your name again?" And I said, "Bobby." And he went, "Hilarious." So it's moments like that that you'll hold on to. You know, there's an endless number of memories, but those are maybe two that come to mind.
So I have a question. Was tech hard for when you guys were rehearsing Another 100 People? Because like the big company letters are moving around the stage during almost every moment, except for when like Bobby and her boyfriends are talking. So was that like crazy?
Totally. It's. I mean, tech is stressful in any process, but that was enormously. And you know, we used to do even crazier moves in that number. I used to sit in the crux of the Y, so I would sit like right here. All the letters were lined up in a long row, and they would come down stage and they would swipe to the right or the left as if she's in an app swiping. And so, like, I would be inside Tinder or Bumble or some social media app and sing to her. But it was so dangerous in order to do it because that number is so technical that if anyone goes off, you could any of those letters could bump into each other. It could be a very scary situation. So we just had to make sure everyone felt safe, nonetheless, before we did any of those crazy movements. So yeah, but you know, it's so many of those. The set is so extraordinary in our production. It was just figuring out how we were going to wrangle this mechanism.
Yeah, so now we can play a game. We have two games. The first game is put a finger down. So start with 10 fingers, and we'll give you a prompt. And if it relates to you, you'll put a finger down.
Second game is Guess the Musical. It's either like songs from the play, clues. It could be like literally anything from the music. And then if you don't get it the first time, we give you clues.
Great.
So you can play the first one, the second one, or both.
Let's do both.
Sure. Okay, we'll start with put a finger down.
Okay.
Put a finger down if you've rejected plans because of rehearsal.
If I've rejected plans because of rehearsal? Great. So I have 9.
Put a finger down if you cried at closing night.
Yes.
Put a finger down if you've been noticed on the street.
Put a finger down if a famous person came to your show.
If what?
Famous person came to your show.
Put a finger down if you've interacted with that theater person.
Say that again?
If you've interacted with that theater person.
What does that mean?
Like, think about, like, someone who does theater but makes it about themselves. Or, like, Rachel Berry from Glee.
You know, like the girl, Rachel, she was like, I have to be in the front stage like that.
Oh, God. So just someone that's really egotistical?
Yes.
Of course. Haven't we all interacted with those people?
Put a finger down if you ever burped or farted on stage.
Put a finger down if you've fallen on stage.
Put a finger down if your voice cracked on stage.
Put a finger down if you've gotten gifts from fans.
Put a finger down if you played multiple roles in the show.
Oh, yes. I was at one moment. You know, guys know the show The Secret Garden?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was Colin when I was 11, and then I played Dickon later when I was a teenager, and I would love to play Archibald when I get older. Yeah.
So, if you can remember one, what is one experience with that theater person?
Oh, God. I mean, it's nothing terribly interesting. We all just know those people that like to, you know, make things about themselves versus hopefully everyone's in the theater industry to cultivate a sense of family and be in service of something beyond themselves. So it's always easier in my mind to ask a question, to be in the situation that you guys are in. It's just get to learn about people is always the easier, better thing.
Tell me about a time you ever farted or burped on stage.
Oh, God. I mean, in Bronx Tale, I remember specifically, I think there were a lot of vegans in that cast, and so we would go to this restaurant called Blossom. And so I think I went and had Brussels sprouts before one of the shows, and there's a scene where we're all in a car that's moving downstage. And as I was singing, in order to release my pelvic floor, in order to like have it take a deep breath and be able to have the support I need to sing a note, I released and just went. I don't know if it was loud or maybe if it was silent, but the three other guys in the car took this whiff and went, and they all came backstage after and said, "Bobby, you got to get this taken care of. You need to get looked at. This was not healthy."
That's so funny. That's wild.
It happens endlessly. An endless amount of people have farted.
We've had someone tell us that like they were singing and like burping in between singing.
Yeah, in between lines, which
like,
is very interesting.
Very.
But now we can play Guess the Musical.
Okay.
So your first clue is loathing.
That's from Wicked.
The end is coming.
The end is coming. Was that from SpongeBob?
Yeah. Stupid with Love.
Stupid with Love is Mean Girls.
A whole bunch
Mean Girls?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A whole bunch of David's fight Goliath.
Say that again?
A whole bunch of David's fight Goliath.
A whole bunch of David's like Goliath. I have no idea.
I'm going to give you a clue because this one's such a hard one. Okay, Seize the Day.
Seize the Day is Newsies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a lyric in Newsies?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
A whole bunch of David's like Goliath. What song is that in?
Watch What Happens? No. Yeah, I think that's in Watch What Happens. I think Kara sings that.
Got it. That's such... Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. 4 Jews in a Room.
Falsettos.
Mm-hmm.
Cape Cow Hair Slipper.
Into the Woods.
Chip on My Shoulder.
Legally Blonde.
Let It Go.
Frozen.
Another 100 People.
Company.
Turn It Off.
Book of Mormon.
Arabian Nights.
Aladdin.
Wow. I
You
mean, you did great. That was fantastic.
I'm a nerd.
No, like you, honestly, like most people do not get.
No one.
Especially the end is coming. People who don't know SpongeBob, so they're like,
The end is coming. That's the good old Basso Profundo song.
Yes.
Like with that very
even
low voice.
sometimes you give people clues and they still don't.
Yeah.
They still don't get it. So.
Nope. I don't need them.
So now we're going to move on to Quick
Round.
Round. So these are rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Favorite Halloween costume?
I would dress up as an adult baby every year in college.
Harry Potter house.
I'm Slytherin.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Favorite song.
Favorite song of all time?
Yes.
In musical theater and pop and what?
Anything.
Oh God.
Give us your top 3 if you can't like narrow it down to one.
Okay, I'll go across genres.
Okay.
Okay. I've Got You Under My Skin. Frank Sinatra is one. Oh God. Moments in the Woods from Into the Woods. And I was just listening to Jacob Collier today, so I'll say All I Need, Jacob Collier.
Favorite actor?
Oh
God! Give him top 3. We'll give you top 3. Top 3.
These things. Okay. John Raitt is one. Do you guys know who John Raitt is?
No. I'm so bad at names. I have to see like a face. I'm bad at names.
John Raitt is from the Golden Age of musical theater. He was the original Billy Bigelow in Carousel and the original Pajama Game. One of the more iconic voices in the American musical theater. Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's like a favorite contemporary? I'll say my buddy Rob McClure. That's another one.
Sure.
Okay. Favorite musical?
Favorite musical company?
Favorite food?
My grandmother makes raviolis. That are my favorite meal.
Favorite color?
Maroon.
Favorite beverage?
What kind of beverage?
You can say whatever. You can say anything.
Like an adult beverage or a...
Say it, yeah. People said red wine on here many times, so...
Bourbon.
Okay.
But if I'm your guys' age, you know what I only drink this on planes. It's so bizarre. Is Bloody Mary mix.
Ooh.
Like I would drink it all the time as a kid because I loved spicy food.
Oh, okay.
So I would just like want spicy tomato juice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Favorite place to eat in New York?
Oh God. La Mazzeria.
Biggest pet peeve?
Oh God, I have many of them. Let's say cynicism for today.
Favorite sitcom?
Favorite sitcom? I guess it'd be because of sitcom. The Office.
Favorite costume?
Favorite costume ever. I played Javert in college, and I had this very cool, long coat that I loved wearing.
Favorite animal?
Oh, lion.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Vanilla.
Favorite sport?
Tennis.
Favorite vacation spot?
Italy.
Favorite movie?
Ooh. Saving Private Ryan.
Favorite dance style?
Not because I can do it, but I think it's hilarious, is twerking.
Love that answer. A favorite pop star?
Ooh. Does Jacob Collier count as a pop star?
Sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Favorite dance number in a show?
Ooh. That I've ever done? I did a production of Crazy for You in college, which is a great Susan Stroman tap show. And we did her original choreography in it, and that was really fun to do.
Favorite book?
Inner Game of Tennis.
Favorite Broadway cast album?
Ooh, there's so many. I grew up with that Beauty and the Beast cast album. I'm falling in love with Terrence Mann as a young child.
If there was an award named after you, what would it be?
If there was a what?
Award.
If there was an award named after me?
Yes.
Oh, God. The Bobberts. The Booberts.
Wait, you have to
I've been
explain
called
that.
all kind of... My full name is Robert, and so... But I'm called Bobby, so I've had friends call me Bobbert, or Boobert, or Booby, or Boopsicle, or Bobalicious, or Roberto.
Okay.
Any version of that.
Okay.
Nice. Well, that's it.
We're done.
Hey guys! Thanks for watching.
Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can get every update.
And make sure to check out Broadway Time Online to get Broadway's latest news and check out all of our interviews. We'll see you next time.
Bye guys!